What is going on, everybody? My name is Marcus, or KingsHeart01, and I am accompanied by my best friend, my brother, Derek, or Nocturnal Gambit. And this is what we've aptly named, or I've aptly named, actually, but you didn't seem to oppose to it, the Good Buds Podcast, where we spark up a bowl, or a blunt, or a thing, and we just talk about whatever. We just had an experience with Papa John's.
Oh my lord, what an experience.
I figured we'd start.
Why the heck did they...
I figured we'd start with that.
Why the heck did they get a third party company?
Dude, okay. Legit, they're going downhill. I firmly believe Papa John's is going, because you don't hire a third-party company unless you're going downhill. They're not upgrading.
Yeah,
there is no way.
Like, especially for my order, it does not take 16 to 17 minutes.
They patched us in with a third-party caller, and she was very clearly a woman of Middle Eastern descent. From the way her voice was, I'm not going to specifically say what part of the Middle East she's from, but she's definitely Middle Eastern. And she was like, all right, once the call started to come to an end, she
just kept freezing up.
She kept... Oh, Lord. And you heard stuff in the background too, right?
Yes, I knew it was a third party because
you heard... I thought it was the people in the background, like working on the pizzas and shit.
No,
that was other callers and her typing.
Yes.
Oh my god, it was so funny. She kept freezing, like you said. She kept stopping and like stuttering and stammering.
Like a normal Papa John's employee would already have my info upon the screen.
Dude, they also, if you're calling and you're just like, yeah, my name is Derek Hurley, you're just like, okay, like, what can I do for you today, Derek? It's like, yeah, can I go ahead and get this, and this, and
then, done.
Yeah, done. Now we just need your card info. Da-da-da. All right, cool, thank you. Da-da-da. She asked you for your name on the card.
Yes.
She was like, what's the card? What's the name on the card? Like, dude,
with some credit card companies, I have learned, though, they need the providence of the full name upon the card. Otherwise, the card won't work.
That's ridiculous. I've never, like, with credit card companies and just card companies in general, that makes sense because it is a credit card / card company. It's something that you use for your money. But if it's a pizza place, or if it's a delivery place, like, that's what threw me out. I was like, she should just know because his name is on the card. His name's on the card. He's calling for his food.
Yes. Like, most bizarre experience I've had with a Papa John's call ever.
It's so ridiculous. Oh my god. It's so ridiculous. Can I also just say that this was going to be a video podcast, but the microphone that I have is not compatible with the camera on my phone. And I also tried doing it with my computer earlier today too, and it doesn't fucking work on my computer. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because this is a fucking karaoke microphone. I didn't know that.
Oh no.
It's a
brought back of Kevin.
No, Kevin. Dude, that Geico commercial is fucking great.
It is. If you all don't know what we're talking about, it's a Geico commercial where they're like in freezing terrain.
They're in the Antarctic.
And this guy apparently brought his karaoke machine out in the middle of nowhere with them. And Geico does its little spiel, like
I saved 50% or more car insurance, type shit. And the guy with the karaoke machine is singing terribly. He is
to a very good old classic song, nonetheless.
What he's singing? He's singing "I Want It That Way."
I Want It That Way
by the Backstreet Boys. And he's singing it terribly. So this little Asian man, because he's Asian,
yes.
What form of Asian we don't know. He could be Filipino. He could very well be Chinese, or
I mean, he's of Asian descent, but
he could be Chinese, but that doesn't matter. Because he literally starts walking to the door. They're in the middle of a fucking snowstorm.
Yeah, they.
And dude just opens the door and continues to walk out like anything is better than listening to this. It's playing through their speakers. I feel so sorry for that crew.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the topics. I didn't really explain what this show is about. This is a show where we just talk
about random topics.
We will do random things. We will have very solemn episodes. We will have very wacky episodes. We will try to bring topics every week to the table, and we will you talk about those topics. I don't know how to explain it, Derek.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
Just
pretty self-explanatory. But one of the topics that I have is there's a new anime, Netflix anime series just came out called Cannon Busters. And I've tried watching it in the English dub. I don't like it. I think if I try watching it
you told me you don't like the majority of anime in English dub.
Well, that's old anime. I don't like old anime, like Sailor Moon,
true.
And like, I think if I were to watch Cowboy Bebop again...
Sailor Moon was a very good one.
No.
Japanese and American. Well, not so much American because all the dialogue was very bad. But yeah.
That, and they had to cut several scenes to match with other scenes. And it was just a bad English dubbed anime. But if you watch the Japanese dub of Sailor Moon, none of it's bad. It all flows. It's all well put together. Same for Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is an older one, but is still relatively in the know. Almost like how watching the old Dragon Ball in Japanese is so much more fun in Japanese than it is in English. Like, it's obviously understandable for an English audience in English.
Yes. But so much better in Japanese.
But with new animes like My Hero Academia, for example, there are lines.
Yes.
There are lines that are definitely not the same in every anime. If you were to take an anime like, sorry, I was just popping my knuckles. My knuckles sore. If you take an anime like Naruto and you watch the English dub, and then the next day you watch the Japanese dub of the same episodes that you watched, down to the very last second on which you stopped on whichever episode, and you could memorize each line, each word for word, in both the English and the Japanese, there are several lines in just the first 5 episodes that are not the same.
Exactly, yep.
And that's what they try to do nowadays, like in Naruto. Is it Shippuden or is it Shippuden? Because I've heard it's Shippuden. Okay. In Shippuden, they tried to stay as close to the Japanese wording within the mouth moving
as they can,
because that's what you're supposed to do. This isn't like any of the abridged series where they'll use like the same stock footage of like Cell in Dragon Ball Abridged, like talking for 5 minutes, and then it cuts to him far away, still talking. The same thing. No one's moving. It's just. But Cannon Busters is, I don't think it's good
one
English.
Of the best abridged versions that we have both seen is Sword Art Online abridged.
And now you're wondering where your god is. Well, he's right here, and he's Virgin of Mercy. Such a good line.
Yes,
such a good line.
Amazing.
And then like where they're asleep under the tree. And like they wake up and Asuna has like the cat whiskers and nose, and Kirito's just like, "Why'd you cat whiskers on your face?" What? Why'd you cat whiskers on your face? Because I thought it'd be funny, and it was just like, and Asuna's just staring at him like, okay. Like it's so good, the abridged series of any show. Fucking shit. What's it called?
Hellsing.
Hellsing. You knew exactly what we're on the same wavelength every time. But no, Hellsing is a good abridged one. It's also good anime to listen to, either whether you're watching it. It's one of those anime where, because obviously I've just talked about how there are some anime that are better English dubbed, there are some that are better Japanese dubbed,
but then
Hellsing is that one where it's just right there in the nook and it fits so perfect, like a puzzle piece. It just, no matter what, the English dub is hilarious and great. The Japanese dub is hilarious and great. The abridged is hilarious and great.
Hey,
It's one of the...
Dick, you missed.
Don't say that, we'll get sued by 4-Star. I think it might be cached. There's liquid in here now. We have an ashing mug that was an old raspberry lemonade thing, and we're just sort of ashing in that. You know what? Here, let's go ahead.
But again, back onto the original topic.
Fuck that lady. Fuck that lady.
No, the Busters.
Oh, Buster Cannon. Well, I jumped back. I jumped back a topic. No, Buster Cannon. No, it just came out yesterday. As of recording this, it's what's today? The 17th, 18th?
It is now the 18th.
It is the 18th of August, 2019. As of yesterday, August 17th, 2019, Buster Cannon was released. And Buster Cannon was made by a predominantly black cast and crew. The two main characters are of African American descent. And it's a great pitch. It looks fucking fantastic. I don't like the way the English dub sounds. And I've only watched the English dub so far. So I'm gonna try to watch. I couldn't even get halfway through the first episode. Like I think I got close to actually finishing the first episode, and I was like, I can't anymore. I can't. It's just too. And it's another one of those mech shows, where like the main character's car turns into like as humanoid like Minotaur.
Yeah.
And it's a cool concept, because instead of starting the car with a key, you have to start it with 25 cents. And in order to transform it, you have to put in a full $1, like a full 4 quarters. That's such a cool concept. It's almost like a toy. It's almost like because even the buttons are very arcade, like very arcade-esque.
All I had to say to that is, what kind of corporation is this trying to raise money for?
That's definitely cash now. Dude, honestly, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far to actually know why any of the things are the way they are. But I'll tell you this. Wow, that's wet. I don't like that. That's not a good feeling.
Ew.
Yeah, that's real gross. No, it's a really cool concept. I think it's a great concept, because you've even got like just within the first episode. I don't want to, because I can't really spoil anything other than what happened in the first episode. one of one of the main characters is a robot. The other main character is like a like hyper aware AI robot, like think iRobot level, but she's like got skin, and she looks very human looking, but she's called a cannon buster. Her fucking hair like goes into flames, and her fucking jaw from like mid cheekbone down turns into like a fucking cannon. And it's like the other main character, the main guy character, has like all these numbers on his like left side, and in the first time that you really get to see him full body, he has like no shirt on, and then he gets fucking blasted in the chest, like killed. There is blood, and you see the insides of people in this show, and dude just heals, like dude rapid regenerates, and then the number 22 pops up underneath his left pack. It's just like, oh, did I die again? Like, did you die again? What the fuck does that mean? Did you die? What is that question? Oh, did I die again? I don't have much room on my body. I only have the entirety of my legs, my face, and the entirety of my right side of my torso and arm. So it's so whacked, but it's such a good concept. It's not cashed yet. It's still stuck to the bowl. Let's go ahead and see. Oh no, it is cashed. It just got stuck to the. I need to clean this tomorrow for sure. We need to have a clean bowl for episode for. Next week before we film episode 2, because I am liking this actually. I don't know about you. Just talking is great. Not having any distraction, just talking.
Yeah.
It's a great. I knew that I loved listening to podcasts, but now I know that I'm doing one, I could definitely do this. I could definitely do this for a living if it comes to that. Just sitting and talking, such a good idea. So whoever came up with the podcast, the Good Buds podcast. Yeah, there you go. That's how I know where I'll end it. That's gonna be the soundbite for every time this opens. I was like, Good Buds podcast. But it's not gonna have that sound. It's like gonna cut off after the because no. Yeah, like there's like coughing. Like I'll make a music one like like where everyone's like dying and like coughing, and all you hear is like you hear bubbling sounds like from bubblers and bongs and shit. Such a good idea, man. I'm gonna go ahead and grind up some more. My little brother is out there, so we should know whenever the pizza gets here. Oh, ooh, that's a burp, boy.
I don't even know if I want to leave a tip now.
I would, because it's not on them. It's on that lady.
They're still part of the Papa John's company.
I understand. But...
Alright, yeah, you're right.
Because you would hate it if you weren't tipped. Just think of it that way. You're a delivery driver yourself. Oh, yeah, like I said, let's talk, like I said before the podcast, let's go ahead and... Dude, you did Postmates and DoorDash for the first time today. This is not sponsored. We're just starting, so of course it's not sponsored.
Yeah.
But you did DoorDash and Postmates for the first time not for the first time today. You did it for the first time today without interruption.
Yep.
Without being called from your other work, without being, just hassled by anyone, by your family, and like you were only hassled by me earlier today because I was like, hey man, were you called into work? Because I've got this idea, we're gonna do a podcast, and like I want you to be aware before we start. Let's do a podcast. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do a podcast if he worked all day because I don't want him to be, because, maybe coming to a place where he is comfortable would be a good idea, but he's probably too exhausted to talk. And, like, obviously there is going to be days where you do have to work, and then we'll do the podcast that night, and then you'll just be like, fuck tonight. Tonight was a shit show. I'm glad I'm here. Let's do a fucking podcast. Rah. Hoorah. The fucking military term.
Not sponsoring the Marines either.
Not sponsoring it. No, that's hoo-ah. Hoorah. Yeah, hoorah is army. Oh no, sorry, that's hooah. Hooah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Pretty sure.
Well, no, because I don't hear anyone's. It's not written out as hoorah. It's not, which is sad, because several of my Marine friends on Facebook are just like, they type it out, HOO-AH. Like maybe one or two here or there will type it out with an R, and it's all like one word, but everyone else that I've seen is just like hooah. Like, isn't that the army? Hooah? Hooah? My dad was army, so that's the only reason I know that, like, at all.
My grandfather was Marines, my father was army.
So that explains why you know the difference.
Yeah.
That will explain it. Man. But
actually, I didn't know about the Marines until my cousin. My grandfather died way...
Oh, true.
Way earlier than I can remember.
Very true. And your cousin is just a piece of work. Let's not talk about it, though. Yeah. Can I tell you what the other name for this podcast was going to be?
Sure.
The Let's Talk About It podcast. At first I wanted it to be like a Philip DeFranco type show, where I'm just sort of spouting the news and shit. But... Yeah, right? It's like, tonight at 5... We got sports with Jeffro. Jeffro is one of our brothers, one of our best friends. We're gonna get him onto the podcast whenever we move into a place together. But it's a two-man.
It's a work in progress.
It's a working podcast.
It's a working podcast.
It's a working one, and it's a work-in podcast. It's a progressive podcast. One that's, for right now, we're a 2-man group, and then we're going to be a 3-man group, and then we can be classified as a blue man crew.
I was just about to go there.
As a blue man crew.
I was about to say we're about
because all three of us will have blue balls by the time we move into a fucking house together. So
hey, we can, you not as much as me.
Still though, man. You will be the biggest blue man.
You're right.
Derek Blumen. Such a bad Jewish name. Yes, hello. I'm Derek Blumen.
Derek Blumen, hiya.
Derek Blumen. I don't want to stand up because I'm afraid I might get lightheaded and then pass out. And that's how you get cancer. It's like, what are you talking about, old man? It's like, don't worry about it. Just know that I don't want cancer. I don't want it. I ain't paying for that shit. But yeah, this is a great fucking idea, man.
That it is.
Oh, dude, So, I recently downloaded, like, a lot of fucking dating apps.
Oh, Lord.
I've got Meet Me. I've got Tinder. I've got OkCupid. I've got Bumble. What was the other one?
You hear that, ladies? He's desperate.
You hear that, ladies? I'm desperate. But, no,
And I've been single for how long?
Hey, man, you're talking to a lady. We'll get into that in just a second. Right now, we're on me, asshole. Okay? Right now, we're talking about me. This is my podcast. This is my baby. My idea. One day... Oh, that would be them. Okay, hang on. We'll be right back. And officially we are back. That was oh wow, way to interrupt my intro back into the podcast. We are back. He and I are back. For you guys it's been like 3 seconds. I'm gonna make sure
But not for us.
in the editing I'm gonna make sure it's 3 seconds long. I'm gonna make sure it's exactly 3 seconds of like distorted screaming.
Oh dear
I'm gonna make sure it's like, oh my god, lays out, but like all wobbly. I'll take your entire stock.
No. You need to do the Rick and Morty, Little Rick. Stop. I'm not myself or something like that.
Yeah. Oh shit. Hang on. Quality's about to get better in 3, 2, 1. How about that? I forgot to plug the microphone in. Isn't that great?
Do.
I'm keeping it in. I'm gonna keep it in. I don't care. This is. I think up until we can get better equipment in like a smaller room or an office or something like that, right? Like something like that, then it will actually be better. But right now it's the first episode. We don't have the equipment. I don't have the equipment. So it's just my phone.
As low budget can get.
As low budget can get.
And for all you people, if y'all notice that the longer the podcasts go, then the more I will start being able to talk.
Yeah.
Because I open up real quick.
I open up too quickly. I feel like everyone and their mother
like
knows
when
me
I was
too
a
well.
young boy.
When he was a young boy. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Ooh, speaking of which, that was
Okay.
Lion King.
Okay, so do you know the history behind the first animated Lion King? Do you know what Lion King was supposed to be?
Wasn't it supposed to be Macbeth? In a cartoon version. Yes.
Okay, yes. But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about what it's based on. Lion King was supposed to be a B movie. It was supposed to be a B-list movie. And Pocahontas was supposed to be above it.
Yes. I believe Lion King came out the year I was born.
Pocahontas and Lion King came out the same year.
1992.
But Lion King made way more than Pocahontas did. Way more. And that is simply because they knew with such an elaborate cast, it's such a good cast. Like, I feel like deep down they knew, like, with such a great, phenomenal cast. You've got James Earl Jones as Mufasa. Then he repraises
Mufasa.
it. Then he repraises his role years later. And the only thing that I personally don't like about the new movie is that Jeremy Irons is not Scar as he was. But I also feel like that's because he was doing because I had said to you and Jeffro before when we were watching it, it was like
they're trying to go back.
The reason that they couldn't get Jeremy Irons was because he was doing an Amazon show.
Oh yeah.
So he couldn't do both. He couldn't record his voice and then go and be somewhere else like an hour later, because they would need him way more than an hour.
Hand you a script, be like, say these now.
Say these now.
What? We're shortening the production time.
I do like that it's a predominantly black cast. I do appreciate that. It's keeping in touch with. We're both white, by the way. We're both extremely very fucking pale, pasty white boys. But
pasty white boys.
Pasty. Like the shock of my teeth. Jesus, that's gonna sound great on the podcast. It's gonna sound great when I'm editing this later, Derek. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, no, like, but I do like that it was the only thing that I don't like about it. It was a predominantly black cast. At least the lions, at least the lion characters were predominantly black. You know, you had Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, and you had another white guy as Timon, and then you also had a British white actor as Zazu. You know, again, another British. They could have brought back Mr. Bean. By the way, they could have brought him back for the fucking, because that would have been great. I don't think this guy got Zazu down quite as good
He didn't.
as the original did. Like, I can never remember. Do you know his name, Mr. Bean? Mr. Bean's real name? You can't remember it? Because I can't remember it. All I know him as is Mr. Bean. You just dropped your lighter. You fucking get up and get it. This is a podcast exclusive. I get to see Derek stand, but no one else. It's an exclusive. He's not standing. He just leaned over really. He set himself up proper and then leaned real far.
See, not even Marcus can see me stand.
I don't even get, and you guys don't even get to see. I actually want to go through and draw the setting, but just draw as cheap. Hush, that's my dog. Hush, you're
He's
okay,
such a big
bud.
baby.
You're okay, buddy. Just go to sleep. You're fine. Aries, hush. Still though, I don't think they should have gotten. I don't think they should have gone so far as to get James Earl Jones to reprise Mufasa.
You want it
Because
different?
because if they're gonna do if they're only gonna do one reprisal, why do it at all? Like, that's my thing. Like, if they're gonna do one reprisal at all,
like,
then they
I
just shouldn't do
understand
it.
why young Simba maybe, because the kid's already grown into an adult by now.
Yeah, he was on.
Same with young Nala.
They are both very much adults now, so I understand. But I think you could have still gotten, if you wanted to just remake the whole movie, they remade the whole movie shot for shot. They remade the entire movie shot for shot. But that's not necessarily a bad thing either.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's just a live action shot for shot movie of what we had, because we were feeling nostalgic, and we being millennials and zennials, ones that grew up with,
around the same
era that these movies came out. We're now in, Disney Studios. We can now make these look more realistic instead of just imagining it. We can do it.
Yeah.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him. We have the
very good movie, The Croods.
You turn there. So have you seen that movie recently?
The Croods?
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right now. I've only seen it twice, and all I remember is that at the beginning they're in this quarry, but they can't stay there forever because the female lead decides to go run out, and then they all go for whatever fucking reason. Okay. And then they meet this dude with a sloth or a monkey or some shit, and they're just and then it's a sloth. That was the best character. Dun, dun, dun. Like you just said, his best character.
Best character is Belt.
The best. He has Belt. His name is Belt. Fuck, man, I really need to rewatch that movie because It's one of Nicolas Cage's weirdest ones yet.
But yes, but it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's one of those DreamWorks movies. Like, do you remember when Disney came out with? Do you know Disney's The Good Dinosaur?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
I did not care.
It's real not okay.
I did not care about it.
Like it's bad.
Yeah.
But like, but when I see previews, like, for like, check out our other Disney properties, like on like DVDs and like digitals
Like
and shit.
before the old
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
Well, no, not even then, because I'll see it now. Like,
Yeah,
like,
but they do a little more subtly.
well, if you guys have stars on any of your devices, and you have little ones who like to watch Disney movies and whatnot, or you like to watch Disney movies, no shame, because I do too.
As do I.
They'll do that. They will show, like, stars will like throw up in like a 10-second ad in front of a Disney movie of another Disney movie.
Yeah.
And it's like the highlights of that. Like one of the movies that you see before you watch one is Frozen, and like one of the highlights in the preview is Elsa making Olaf, like waving her hands around as she like is running away before she makes her giant ice castle. Makes Olaf.
I'll say Olaf again.
Olaf.
Okay.
Why?
You said Olaf.
No. It was a word before Olaf, and it sounded like Olaf. Because I jumble my words together.
As the rhyme.
But it's that way. Because I've seen previews for, excuse me, sorry, fan.
We only say that because we're our only fans right now.
I'm sorry, fam. No, one of the previews is The Good Dinosaur, and one of the highlights in that preview is that little feral child, because apparently it's about the fucking long neck, and like it's like a fucking role reversal where you think it's like, oh, hello, little dinosaur. It's like, oh, hello, little whatever the fuck you are, and like he's like nudging this long neck at this feral kid, and like they befriend him. Like, they befriend each other, and, like, this, like, feral child is, like, growling and hissing at other dinosaurs, like...
It's basically an animal-like being with human tendencies.
Because, let's be honest... If you can't see what I'm doing, I keep closing and
it's
widening.
It's very hilarious if you ask me. Casey keeps doing it over and over, and it's very comical. Just trust my word.
Just trust my word. I'm not laughing, but trust me. My friend is comedian. Do not worry, because we do the fun things for you and me. Oh God, what was that bit? What was that bit last night that we were doing? Fear not, madame. Fucking, but it was a British accent. See, this is why we need to. I have it on my phone, but I don't.
Fear not, madame.
No, it was a British accent, not French. But it was like, it was literally the way, and it was this way talking to you. For that is what I was doing. There it is. I brought it back. I found it. Congratulations. Thank you. Shaking my own hand. Cell 5. Booyah. Fist bump. Boom. Make it explode. Bring it back in. And explode again. Oh yeah.
For those
Snail,
who
jellyfish, snowman,
cannot see me right now, this is me getting up,
stick driver,
and this is me walking out the door.
Little slap, make daddy happy.
It is so cringe.
That's another good movie. Is Trolls. Dude, let's just good buds, and also just the entirety of it is just us getting high talking about movies because that's all we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that's just the podcast.
It's not just a podcast. It's a podcast theory.
It's you said it wrong.
I know.
It's not just a theory, but a podcast theory. Thanks for listening. Not watching, unless it was one of those podcasts where you can watch it and listen to it. Okay. Do you have any topics? I'm tired of talking. Oh, that was a big old chunk. A big old chunker.
Do you remember, speaking of chunk, do you remember the Goonies?
Oh, no more movies. Yay. I do. I don't know if you're being serious, but I do. I do remember the Goonies. Do you want to grind some up this time? We just cast bowl number 2. Here's the grinder. Sorry.
Ladies, this next bowl is dedicated to you.
Ladies, this next bowl is dedicated to you. Dude, I don't know. I think part 1, before we had the pizza break, was about 30 minutes long. This is almost about 20 minutes long, this second part. That's going to put us at about 50 minutes. I'm leaving all this in. I don't care. I'm leaving all of it in. It's going to put us at about 50 minutes.
Sure.
You wanna cut it off soon? Or
yeah, I guess we'll not talk about Goonies.
I guess well, no, I mean...
As if you remember.
No, we'll talk about it. I want to know this before we get into another deep conversation I forget. It's ultimately it's up to me, but I'm just asking you what your preference is, unless you want to make a longer podcast for episode 1. Because
this is the grand opening. Might as well.
Because it's like I said, it's not that late for us, so yeah, fuck it, mate. Let's make it a longer episode. So fuck this. Yeah, no, Goonies. Yes, like legit.
Hey, you guys.
Okay, dude, Chunk. What was his? Do you remember his name?
His actor name?
No, the character. Not Chunk's actor, the guy you just quoted.
Oh.
Do you remember his name?
Sloth.
That's it. Okay, dude. Sloth and Chunk is like the ultimate like duo. Okay, because Chunk takes care of like ever since Chunk found Sloth. Chunk did nothing but want to like take care of Chunk and like be Chunk's friend, because that was the first point of human interaction that Sloth got that wasn't bad.
Yes.
Because that fucking woman tortured that poor man. That poor boy. That's still a boy.
Yeah.
He's wearing boy clothes in the movie. He's wearing clothes that are too small for him.
Yeah.
You want Babe Ruth? Baby Ruth?
Yeah.
Baby Ruth? Dude, no.
Ruth.
Plus the elaborate... Ooh, I got an email. Look at that. I had an email on my phone. YouTube approved.
YouTube approved?
I don't know what YouTube approved of, but it's YouTube approved.
Way to go, YouTube.
Way to go, YouTube. I'll look at that just a second. I could probably look on my actual computer right here in front of me, but I don't know. More soda.
It's not like we're in the age of laziness.
Yeah, it's not like we're in the age. Yeah, dude. I'm real lazy, actually. No, what was I? Oh no, the elaborate mechanisms and machines in the Goonies.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that was. Did you see that? Okay, so.
Pirate Pete.
Okay, so no, it's One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie, yes.
Because it was a
Oh.
penis joke. It was supposed to be a penis joke for the adults.
Yeah.
Either that or like someone looked down at their dick after watching that movie. It's like One-Eyed Willie, and then that's just what it was forever. Don't forget the lid's right over there by your cup.
Yep.
Yeah, man, dude. The shot where they have the map, like the four of them. You see Chunk and Data, and his name was Data, wasn't it? It was Data.
I believe so.
It was because it was supposed to be like a Star Trek reference. Because he was like he was the smart Asian
smart
kid,
one.
the
The
stereotypical
inventor.
the stereotypical smart Asian
He
kid.
kept inventing weird stuff.
Yeah. So it was like Data or some shit.
But rewatching it,
Yeah, dude,
were
it's
watching it
super
as a kid.
racist. Super
no,
racist.
if we were watching as a kid, we'd all want to be like him because he has such cool stuff.
No, dude, honestly, I
Like
wanted.
slick shoes.
No, slick shoes are bad, way bad. That's an accident waiting for me to happen with. I will literally hurt myself and several other people in the process of being too slick. It's never a good thing. Why don't you just pour it into the top canister part? Why are you doing it like that? Do you not trust yourself to dump it into the canister, the top canister, and then dump it into the bowl? Or just dump it into the bowl from there? You've done this 3 times now that we've smoked.
Yes.
Like each time that you go to pack the bowl, you do this every time. Why?
Yes.
Okay, since you can't see right now, he's got the bud in the jar, like in like this in this
My
Tupperware.
preferred method. Sorry.
My grinder is one of those grinder canisters, which is real sleek plastic. He's got the weed on top of the Tupperware, and now he's about to pinch the weed and then put it into the bowl. Like, you can just dump it from the grinder into the bowl, man. Unless you like to see how much you're pinching. Okay.
That was a penis joke, everyone. If you
It was
didn't
a
know.
penis joke, everybody. Back to One-Eyed Willie and more penis jokes. No, the shot. Okay, like legit though. Back to it. The shot where Chunk, Data, the actor who will soon play Samwise Gamgee, and what was his name? Mike. That was Mike.
Yeah.
It was
Mikey.
Yeah, it was Chunk, Data, Mike, and then whoever the fuck the asshole kid was. Unless that was Mike.
No.
I didn't think so. But the asshole, like all 4 of them, had the same like a fan brought the same map that they looked at in the movie to them because I guess they were doing a reunion or some shit, and they were able to get that same shot wherever they were holding their little get together. How great is that? So you see that scene, like they did like a side-by-side shot of that scene where Chunk, Data, Mike, and the asshole were all looking at the map, and then in that same order, all 4 of them, same posing, same trying to get the same look on their faces, looking at either a replica of that map or the same map. Isn't that great?
The more you know, people.
The more you know. Do.
With an Intel Core processor.
Intel Core processor.
Ladies,
Ladies, I'm hiring. If any of you are interested. Hiring for what? Marcus, are you trying to tell us something on the podcast? Prostitution is the only way now. Like, Marcus, are you okay? Now my cat's at the fucking door. It's a fucking farmhouse in here, man. Oh, and you go and do some weird predator shit. That's the same noise that the predator makes. How long have you been able to do that, and why haven't you told me that you can do that yet? Why is that? Why am I just now figuring this out? Why? We've known each other for almost 2 years, over that, and now you're doing this.
I've never watched The Predator.
You've never watched any of the Predator movies?
Nope.
Really?
Really?
Wow. That's the same noise that they make whenever they're hunting. Like that, but like it's elongated, like it's like forever. Almost. Almost exactly that. But like that, but just repeated. Like that's but okay. So whenever you can see through their eyes, you know how it's usually like a third person movie where like the camera is like watching all the people. You know, it's like your typical horror movie,
Yeah.
but with guns and blood. You can see through the predator's
Kind of
heat
like zombie
vision,
movies.
kind of, but you can see through the predator's heat vision in his mask, and you hear that creepy fucking sound, man. So like, watching the original, it's
Hey, look, audience, no hands. Like, literally, y'all can't see my hands.
I wouldn't put that up there. I wouldn't trust that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. There you go. There, right there.
I did it.
And let me
Aren't
put,
you proud of me, Marcus?
I am. Let me put my soda on the opposite corner so that it doesn't tip. Okay, let's get off the topic of movies. I'm fucking done.
Ooh, how about your brother's project he gave you to do?
Dude, I haven't gotten... Okay, so... I haven't gotten past page 3. I haven't gotten past, like, step 5 of page 3.
For everybody out there, what we're talking about.
My brother is a senior in high school this year. This is his last year in school. And he's in visual arts, which he didn't have to take previously in any of his other classes, but for some reason he's taking it this year. And his teacher gave the students an assignment where they gave him
classes.
Well, he gave them a list. Like, he gave them a 4-page list, but 1 page each day.
Yeah.
And and on page 1, the first thing that it is like, the head has to be a shape. Like, it has to be a real shape. It cannot be a made-up shape. It has to be circle, square, rectangle, triangle, you know, blah blah blah, rhombus. It has to be a diamond of some sort, you know. And then the second thing on the first page is the second thing on the first page is the body has to be organic, which means it has to come from nature. A tree trunk, water, a flower, it could be grass, dirt, it could be like golem shaped. I could have made a fucking golem. I could have just made a golem and then added shit to it. But no, like page 1 is like super obscure, like super specific things. Like, you cannot have one mouth. You can either have more than one or 0 mouths. You cannot have 2 ears, which means you have to have 0 or more than 2.
Yeah.
You know, and so on and so forth. You've got to have 4 unique looking legs. And like that
or
shit
ended had one.
And then that shit just starts to get ridiculous. It starts to be fucking ridiculous. So I stopped. I was like, man, I'm not doing this.
So what are we supposed to be visualizing here in visual arts?
Well, exactly, right? But seriously, like, I just stopped. And I kind of want to
Are
look.
we seeing your eyes through Picasso or something?
Honestly, what I want to do is I want to go through each of the lists and like obviously very humanely, right? I'm not sure I'm using that. I'm sure I'm not using the proper wording. I want to look at the list and like
He's gonna be
think
wearing rubber gloves.
well
He's gonna
things
be in a hazmat suit.
things that belong
Humanely.
things that belong on a head, like eyes and shit like that. I will find the head has to be a regular shape, so like a circle, and like it can't have more than like it can't have two eyes. It either has to have zero or it has to have more than two eyes.
0,
It's like-
1, or more than 2.
Yeah, 0, 1, or more than 2. And like it's like okay, so I'll decide, like I'll roll like a die and I'll decide on the number of how many eyes I'll put there. It's like okay, cool.
Give
So
it
I'll
a
just
Jewish voice. How am I supposed to do that? Write a program.
write a program. Write a program.
So, we're basically doing visual arts and programming.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, I'm just like, I was stoked about it. I thought it was such a good idea. But then I went with a water body for like a natural body. And it's just bad. It's just bad. Because my thing doesn't have any legs. Like it has legs, but I made it to where this thing was a monster and it had legs like floating around in the water and like shoes and like fingers and toes and shit. Bad idea. Bad fucking idea.
Well, that kind of reminds me of something from an old video game I used to play. PlayStation 2, by the way, age alert.
Oh yeah.
Regular PlayStation 1, actually.
Oh man, for the regular PS1, fuck.
Yeah, it was Toy Story 2.
For the PlayStation 2?
Yes.
Wait, they had a Toy Story game?
Yes.
What? Hang on. Okay, I'm looking this up. Hang on. This can't be real. No way. Go ahead and open up another tab. Google. Google. Come here, Google.
It's basically.
Come on.
It's basically a game through the eyes of Buzz Lightyear as he's going to find his best friend Woody.
Toy Story 2, the video game. Oh my god, for the N64, for the PS1. Yeah, PS1, Disney's Toy Story 2. What the fuck? Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue is what it's called.
And the cinematic movies on them were pretty good.
Dude,
Basically,
that
it was
looks,
just copies.
that looks horrendous, guy. Look at that. We're just on Google here. Hang on, let's go to images real quick. Here we go. This is what we'll
They basically took clips from the movie and put it in the game.
You telling me that looks good? You telling me?
I never said
I'm gonna get nightmares. That look. She looks huge. Oh no, that's his arm. That's his. Oh, okay. So it's a first person / third person game.
Yeah.
What? Look at that fucking. Okay, so this is clearly someone's picture, but that's some Crash Bandicoot font right there.
It was a pretty fun game.
Okay,
but yeah, what I was saying back to your water form, dude, it kind of reminded me of that picture down there of the slime monster.
Of the slime?
That one right there.
This?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That thing is so ugly.
Yes, it was.
That is, dude, when I go back and listen to this in the editing, I'm gonna have to like look for this fucking picture again. You know that, right? Like this thing is ugly. Like what the fuck is that? Are you calling my thing ugly? It is ugly. My creature is ugly.
But you see,
oh
it
my
has
god!
different stuff inside.
What the fuck?
It's basically a trash can monster.
What the fucking fuck? That's a germ for sure. We are on a microscope. This game is taken on a microscopic level, and that is, yeah, no.
But it was such a fun game, despite how bad the game itself was.
It looks pretty bad. It looks really fucking bad, dude. Oh my god. This looks so terrible.
It was so fun to play as a kid.
Dude, I imagine. Because there's this fucking game. Okay? There's this fucking game that I cannot remember the title of. But it is a third person biking game. But it's not bikes. It's like futuristic hovercrafts that like take the shape of bikes. And you had to fly through a maze and try it. Like I think it might have been one of the game modes where you had to shoot the other person, which means if you ran into them,
It kind of reminds me of Tron a little bit.
it does sound like Tron, but it's not
Tron. I know you.
because you're in tubes. You're in like this fucking like tube. You're in this tube maze. And unless you know the map, unless you've played this game over and over again, then you don't know where to look for the other person. So you're stuck in like this loop forever getting shot. Because I don't remember, because my friend at the time, Brandon, had it. And he and I would play it, and then I would lose. And that's like where I first started playing games, and that's where I got my love and hate for the shit. That's why I get so pissed off.
What system was it from?
It was a PS1 game, but I can't find it. I can't, like, PS1 future
Racing game.
I don't know if it's a racing future third person games. Here, we'll just say that. I hate it when my computer does that shit. It just shows me a white fucking screen. It was 3D too. It was like this. It was like real bad 3D graphics. Wait, was it G Police? Is that? Because that wasn't Future Cop. No, those are helicopters. Never mind. No, it was like futuristic.
Same motorcycles.
Maybe futuristic third-person games. Wipeout. Wait. I think I might have just found it. Hang on. I think I might have just. If it would fucking load. Wipeout. Was it? Because this looks correct, but there's like no opening right here. Like there's an opening there. But this looks correct. Wipeout looks correct. I believe.
Wipeout XL.
Yeah, it's Wipeout XL. PlayStation 1. Wipeout XL. What? No, this is a racing game. But hang on.
But wait, there's more.
Because I swear you had to go around and find the other person and then kill them, like shoot them. Man, I'm telling either I dreamed it and this is just stuck in my head forever.
Could it have been one of those arcade games?
No, it was 3D. It was 3D, man, because I would get lost in that motherfucker constantly. The one map, Brandon knew I hated that one map and just fucked me every time.
Just like our friend Jeffro trying to get us to play Sonic the Hedgehog with him.
I hate that shit. I hate doing it.
Or Mortal Kombat.
I hate doing it. I hate people who do it. Yeah, try to get me to play Mortal Kombat. I haven't played Mortal Kombat since I was like 10.
Exactly.
That's just not my franchise anymore, man. Like, I'm not saying that it's a bad game. I'm just saying I'm not into it anymore. Like, looking up the fatalities are cool as shit.
Yeah.
Looking up the backstory or looking up the story so far is fucking great. The timeline is all types of fucked, but the timeline is good. Watching the timeline videos are good. Like, that's the type of shit that I like watching that's like, game-wise. Other than that, give me Minecraft. Give me like a open world sandbox. Give me Skyrim.
Yeah,
Give
you
me
can have your freaking Minecraft.
Minecraft is a good fucking game. I don't care what anyone says. Minecraft is a deliberately good game.
I'm pretty sure I can make an overpowered character off of Skyrim.
You can also make an overpowered character on Minecraft too. It just takes time and dedication because there's real no cheating unless you're playing a creative world. Which is also what I'm referring to.
Mine are basically loopholes.
No, yours are loopholes, yes. But when you're playing on creative, yes, you can cheat and be like, "Ha, you guys want to play? It's a survival world." It's like, but that's the whole point. Like, it's to create, to be an asshole. It's to survive. It's popping my knuckles again. That one doesn't want to pop yet. Oh, see, that was the entire hand. You just broke your knuckles. You're killing yourself right now.
It felt pretty good to me.
But yeah, man. Minecraft is...
Y'all really can't see this, but my fingers are kind of disformed right now.
My fingers are disformed and broken.
I just popped them to the point of no return.
I'm broken. I am broken. Please help me. Let's see. Yeah, I'm probably gonna start drawing this area tonight. And I just turned off the music. Oh well. Yeah, we're gonna start drawing this area tonight. Or I'll take a picture of this area and I'll just then draw ourselves into the picture. That sounds like a good idea instead. I don't have to do too much drawing each time. You just But yeah, man. I think we can call it. Yeah. Episode 1. Hell yes. Next week.
That was a weak ass woo.
Woo.
But at the same time, I have to be quiet because other people are sleeping.
This is the truth. This is a truth.
So, y'all just have to deal with my weak ass woo for the time being.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, thank you for listening to the Good Buds podcast. This is episode 1. We did it. We will see y'all next week with some brand new topics.
People.
we have liftoff people. We will see you next week. I'm gonna try to get this out. What's
Probably.
today? Today's Sunday, probably.
Well, now Monday.
Well, today is now Monday, yes.
And I'm normally off on Mondays, so
I'll try to get this out before Tuesday, or before. I'll give myself before Wednesday. If it's out on Wednesday, then that's when they'll start coming out, is Wednesday, because that's how I know, that's how much time I have from recording to editing. But I'll give myself until Wednesday. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. If you're watching as well, because I'm gonna try to put this up on YouTube, but probably not gonna work. But yeah, goodbye.
bye bye.